And Nitish has this question that you have worked in Oberoi, Philips, TCS, and currently in DLF. What are your key learning and the challenges?
So Nitish, thank you for your question. The key learnings that I've had throughout the four experiences that I've had, a short experience in Oberoi's and Philips because I was just doing an internship there, but a relatively more detailed experience in TCS and now in DLF. The key learnings that I've had is that you really need to have a growth mindset whenever you're going into anything, whether it be a TCS or whether it be any organization for that matter. You really need to keep an open mind. You really need to have an attitude to be open to learning. And you really need to understand that one never stops learning. So you need to be grounded all the time and understand that if one needs to grow, they need to keep learning. So that is one key learning that I would say I've taken away, that the day you stop learning is the day you stop growing. So
Mhm.
be it any organization, any college, be it anywhere you go, have an open mind, be open to experiences, be open to learn, uh, and and don't shy away from accepting that probably you don't know something and you can learn from somebody. So never let go of that opportunity of learning from other people's experiences and knowledge.
Amazing, amazing. So, what Parul just mentioned, I would just like to echo in on that. I have this concept of personal development budget and a personal development plan where I encourage people what is your future aspiration? How are you having certain milestones? And what is the budget? Budget in terms of time, money, energy. Where would you be investing in your relationship in certification? Talking of certification, Parul, I would like to understand from you, like you mentioned, have an open mind, have a learning inclination. So, how much importance do you feel do these so-called certification have in current time? Because nowadays, let's be honest, majority of the students have just got a degree with zero practical knowledge, and they are doing it because it's purely a peer pressure that you have
Hmm.
to do MBA as a checklist. So,
Yeah.
what's your take on these checklists in terms of certificates?
Um, my personal opinion is that, there's nothing wrong in doing a certification. There's nothing wrong in adding to your knowledge by getting, more and more courses on your resume. But it's very important to be meticulous about it. It's very important to have a calculated choice in terms of what you're really planning and where do you want to go with it. So example,
Mm-hmm.
if I go for a course which makes no sense to me in my career and doesn't add
Mm-hmm.
to my sort of skill in any way, then I would just be wasting money on it. But if I
Mm-hmm.
plan meticulously that, let's say, this year this is my budget, this is a skill that I will attain, this is the course that will give me this skill, and this is the end result with which I will, progress 10% or 20% towards my main goal, then that makes sense. So it's very important to have a plan in mind before you go into any certification. It's important to understand from people who might have done the certification as to how they are using it in their present profession, and then
Mm-hmm.
make an informed choice rather than like an impulsive decision that let's just spend money, let's just get into it and then see where it goes. That will not get you anywhere. That's my opinion.
Amazing. What are the various vertical under HR? Suppose a person who is good with numbers, what kind of area or domain can they see into human resource? Because they have got these strong skills. Because
Right.
HR is really seen from a very admin type of perspective. It is
Correct.
not seen as a business initiative or revenue generation vertical. So, if you can just shed lights, what are the verticals? And if a person is good with something, like I know if you're good with marketing, you can be part of recruitment vertical. If you're good with
Hmm.
facilitation, if you have got good public speaking skill, you can be part of the L&D. If you're good with numbers, you can get into analytics or other.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
please just guide us, what are the various vertical that a person can see in the HR?
Okay. So various verticals that we have in HR, first of all, I would begin with recruitment. That's a very number driven field that we have in HR. It's mostly for people who are very, very driven and self starters, because there's a lot of effort that you really have to put in sourcing, in talking to people and convincing them. Another part of recruitment is really understanding the business, because if you don't understand the business or the skill that you're hiring for, you can never be a successful recruiter, because you will just end up putting CVs in front of business without really understanding their requirement, and they'll get outrightly rejected. So to get into recruitment, number one would be understand what your business wants. Second, use your brain while you're talking to people, understand what their aspirations are. A lot of times I've seen that HRs just, randomly get resumes from somewhere and they pass it on to the business without even talking to the candidates first, without understanding what the candidate's aspiration is. And that never works, because a business will never respect an HR who doesn't, want to be involved in the process. Most HRs end up being people who just send out invites or end up scheduling interviews. But I would say, if you want to be a successful HR in recruitment, understand what you're hiring for, speak to the person, understand their aspiration, make them comfortable, tell them about the organization, and try to sell the organization. Because unless you're good at marketing your own organization, nobody will want to get interviewed and join your organization. So that's one. Second would be compensation and benefits. That's extremely number driven. That's for people who are really good at so to say finance or numbers. Again, an interesting field. Unfortunately, have not been associated with this field till now. In the future, I'm hoping I will move to comp and ben if God permits, if need be. So that's the second field, compensation and benefits. Third would be an HR generalist role, which I was a part of when I was in TCS. That's like a mixture of everything. So you get into engagement as well. You get into sort of, a lot of initiatives that you can do for employees that fall within engagement. And the last would definitely be learning and development, which is associated with learning initiatives and, of course, training a few people as need be. So those are broadly the verticals that we have in HR. But honestly, most organizations require you to be an all-in-one. So big organizations like a TCS or an Accenture or an IBM, etc., would have different verticals within HR, like a recruitment team, a learning team, a generalist team, etc. But like the organization that I'm in right now, they expect us to be a part of the entire employee life cycle. So right from a person joins in, uh, you know, sourcing that person's profile, getting that person onboarded, inducting that person, then of course making that person feel comfortable by engaging that person, and then learning and development initiatives, and then till the time the person leaves the organization, I am through and through involved in the entire employee life cycle. So that's what most organizations expect you to do now as an HR, rather than just generalizing yourself as a comp and ben employee or a comp and ben HR or a learning HR.